this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be doing a wheelie at 150 miles per hour in reverse. And if you're wondering how I figured out you could do this, it was back when I was doing the video where I was trying to do the fastest quarter mile in reverse, and I just so happened to have a combination of parts that allowed me to do this. So, first off, we're going to get the Hirochi Sunburst, and we want the hill climb version. I'm going to go ahead and get it in red, and then what we're going to do is we're going to strip this thing down to the bare essentials. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the parts menu, and then I'm going to freeze physics with J so it all happens at once, and we're going to go ahead and start removing things. So interior, we can't do nothing with that. Oil cooler we need, but then the doors, we don't need the doors. Those are just there so you don't fall out the car. I don't care if you fall out the car. Fenders are useless to me, so that's gone. Fuel tank, we do need. Glass, gone. That's just so you don't need to wear a helmet. We'll wear a helmet. Headlights, gone. We're going in reverse anyways. They wouldn't do any good. Plus, look how bright out it is. We don't need that. Roll cage, I don't plan to crash, so I don't need the safety. I also don't need to buckle up my seat. And then the plane roof, I can't do anything about that. Driver's seat will leave because, well, let's have a little bit of realism here. So onto the strut bar, that's gone. It's mostly about handling. Taillights are gone because they're basically headlights that are useless at this point. And then the front bumper is gone because that's actually hugely detrimental. And the rear bumper doesn't really make a difference. We're going to remove it anyways. Front doors, gone. And then we're going to remove the front fenders as well because those actually have aero bits on them. Hood, gone. Side skirts, gone. The only thing we're going to leave actually is the trunk with the big Nomi GTRX wing on it. So let's go ahead and make sure all this worked out as I thought it would. Taking a quick look at the car, pretty much everything that could be removed has been removed. Now that the car's been stripped down to the bare essentials, let's tweak it just a little bit. We're going to go to the transmission and we want to get the CVT, which is the continuously variable transmission. Next, we need to go to the tuning menu, and we're going to change the center LSD torque split to 20. That means 80% of the power is going to the front wheels, and we're going to up the front and rear final drive ratio just a little bit up to 4.56. And that's really all we need to do to make this thing able to wheelie. So we'll hit apply and make sure everything is working as I expected to on this map. Although I like having it in realistic gearbox mode here because it feels weird to hold down the brake to go 150 miles per hour in reverse. So we're just going to floor it, and it's getting a little squirrely here because it's a little bumpy as you see right there. We're going to try to get off of that. There we go, and up to 150 miles per hour, and lift off! The rear of the car is now in the air. There's sparks coming from the front, but you do notice coolant is overheating. Eventually, this thing will overheat and die. Piston ring's already damaged. That is one problem with this thing. No air is actually being fed into the radiators. So eventually, it will overheat, and then you'll no longer be able to do a wheelie. But there are a couple of things you can do to make the car wheelie just a little bit longer. So let's reset this. And then we're going to change a setting in the menu. So we're going to go to Options, Gameplay, and then we want to turn off Start Vehicle Engines Preheated. And it says, if disabled, the engine thermal simulation starts at the environmental temperature. That means when you spawn up a car, it's like it's been sitting there a day and it's nice and cool. Where normally, when you spawn up a car, it's like it's been idling for a while. So everything in the engine is already heated and ready to go. And we don't want that. We want the engine to be as cold as possible. So we'll go ahead and turn this off for now. And then we're going to go back into the game. We need to reset the car. And if you look at the engine temperature right here, it is just blank because it's so cool. And now we're going to go in reverse, and we should be able to pop a wheelie before we even really get into regular operating temperature range, I'm thinking, because we're almost at about 150 miles per hour. We're going to hit it right here, and that's good enough to lift the car into the air. And yeah, we're a long way until we have to worry about overheating. And I'm trying to get this thing straightened out a little bit, because if you have it straightened out, you can pretty much do a wheelie forever until the engine at least overheats and you die. So like right here, you see, we are holding this no problem. We're even scraping as we go, and we are still able to hold this angle. It's a nice angle. I almost wish we had a bumper that was a little bit less steep, but that's actually part of the turbocharger that's scraping right there, so we can't remove that, unfortunately. I looked into it. So now everything's starting to fall apart. We are starting to drop to the ground again, which it is about time to get ourselves a new car so we can keep doing wheelies. So let's reset this, and then this time we're going to do it all the way until the engine overheats and completely shuts off. And I could have done that last time, but I just like seeing the car do a wheelie, and I wanted to see it one more time before we waited for it to die, because it does take a little bit of time for it to completely die off. So this time I'm going to drive it a little bit different. I'm going to try to just keep it a little bit of a wheelie without scraping the front if I can, although I'm slightly losing control right here because of the bump in the road. So like right there, that's too much. We want to tone it down a little bit and just try to hold it around here without those rear wheels touching the ground. And you can do that pretty well by just controlling the throttle, as you see right here. I'm having no problems avoiding touching the ground and touching the front of the car to the ground. It's just working great. And it might actually make the car overheat a little bit slower, which is an added bonus. Although now coolant is overheating, which eventually is going to make the car start to fall no matter what I do. but I still have a few seconds until those piston rings get damaged, I think. And I'm going to keep holding this thing at the perfect angle. It is up. Piston rings damaged. It's going to fall. Head gasket damaged. We're going down. We're going down. I'm trying to keep it up. Nope. Come on. Come on. Ooh, it's actually keeping itself up in the air somehow, even though it's so damaged up. Like, just barely. It's the tiniest amount, but I don't think it really has touched the ground. That's cool. All right, there we touched the ground for sure. Because you actually can hear the connecting rod bearings ticking in the background, which is just a matter of time before the engine's completely destroyed. But as you see, it's still popping into the air until its very last seconds. And now there's nothing more we could do with it, so we gotta go ahead and reset it. And I just want to show you guys something funny I noticed you could do, because I was trying to do the same thing with the SBR4 and it would not get into the air. So I wondered, what if we tweaked the gravity? And it didn't work out, but I did realize you could do this. So we're gonna get it up to speed. Once it starts doing a wheelie, we're gonna hit mercury gravity. So right now, and it just does a flip. This looks funny how it just does a flip. I mean, there's still gravity pulling down on this car. It's just weaker than it was. And the gravity is so weak, the car is able to do a flip. And I don't think you could actually just back up all the way with mercury gravity on, because you don't have enough traction to get up to speed in that situation. I didn't try switching out the wheels though to get ones with more traction. It might be worth a try. Now what is kind of interesting though is once the wing breaks off like this, you don't have the up force. So we're on normal earth gravity again. And we're going to go in reverse, try to get the thing to pop up, and it just doesn't. You see, we're going 160 miles per hour. That should be more than enough to do something, but nothing's happening. It's just grounded to the ground. At least that's what a Camry owner would say. Let's go ahead and try to wreck this thing because we haven't had much wreckage in this video. Just going up the edge of that should get us into a nice roll, although not as nice if we still had low gravity on. It would be really rolling then. That was a fairly decent roll, and it's actually still going. I thought it was stopped, but no. So here's a couple more rolls for your WhyBeAre. And now the car is pretty much immobile, so reset. And my curiosity is telling me to go ahead and try lowering the gravity just a little bit. So not as much as mercury, maybe like negative 6.5. Now I'm hoping gravity will still be strong enough to give us traction to get up to speed, and then it'll also be low enough to really flip us up into the air like you just saw. I don't know if it's actually possible though. Like, I'm thinking it might be if you have the traction, then you don't have enough gravity. But if you have the gravity, then you won't have the traction. Like, you can't have both. It was really close right there, but not quite. Like, it's just hanging on, not getting itself completely flipped over. So I think the only way to do a complete flip is to lower the gravity in the middle of reversing, and then that's when you do that amazing, awesome looking flip. I almost want to see what that looks like inside the car. Well, actually, we should do this whole thing so you can see what it looks like inside of the car. That'd be pretty good, although not right now because this thing is overheating. So I'm going to go ahead and spin it out, and then we'll reset it, although it likes to do a lot of spinning right here. I guess the low gravity makes it more likely to spin and be super dramatic with everything. It looks like it's spinning and going forward, even though it was going reverse the whole time because you're so used to a car driving forward. Like, it doesn't look like it was going in reverse and then spun out, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's go ahead and reset this car, and then we're going to put the gravity to earth, which is 9.18. Go to the inside camera, and we're just going to reverse it and see what this looks like. But nothing yet because we're not up to speed. I'm just going to keep it straight, which is a little bit harder when you're in the inside of the car, I feel like, but I think we'll be all right. Then we look behind us, see what we see. Oh, now all we just see is the sky. And in the front, you just see the pavement and like 2 feet in front of you. Oh, this is great. Like, you can't see nothing about which way you're going. Not even the mirror. The mirror's just blank because all you see are the clouds back there. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so what does it look like when we do the gravity change? So we're going to go to the menu right here. I'm going to find my mouse, and then we're going to hit mercury gravity. And oh my goodness, that is a weird feeling. Like, that just doesn't feel right, what you just saw right there. It's wrong. All right, back to earth gravity to level this thing out onto the ground. And then main in control of the vehicle. And the wing is gone, so it's as good as useless, so we'll go ahead and reset it. And now I have just one last idea I want to test. Can we actually get this thing into the air if we only have 2 wheels from the very start? So we're going to completely remove the rear suspension, which actually helps reduce the weight on the rear a little bit, I would assume. And then into reverse we go, and we're just going to try to keep this thing straight, which is probably going to be really hard considering you saw how bad it just went crooked right there from the very start. That is not very reassuring. You know, this is one of those things where it'd probably be better to do it like grid map where you just have a lot of wide open space. You don't have to worry about like bumps like that messing you up. But we're going to try it here anyways. And I mean, we're going 120 miles per hour. This thing should be getting in the air real soon. There we go. Yeah, ha. It actually worked. We have a car that's driving with 2 wheels. It's now going 166 miles per hour in reverse, popping a wheelie. It's so stupid, but it's great. Anyways, I think that'll do it for this video. Till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.